and it will achieve a market capitalization similar to gold in the many trillions of dollars. So you're talking about a $400,000 price is my target.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Bitcoin has been fluctuating around $7,000 for quite some time now. Next big move can be just around the corner. In this video, we will take a look at the recent interview with Max Keiser, who believes Bitcoin will reach $400,000 a coin in the near future. This video is brought to you by SwitchHere.com. SwitchHere is a reliable cryptocurrency exchange service that allows you to quickly buy cryptocurrency with your own credit card. Users will also receive 1% cashback on their purchases. It is very good to those who buys and sells cryptocurrency often. This is non-custodial exchange, which means they do not hold your coins. When you make a purchase, coins will go directly into your deposit address that you provided. If you are interested in these quick crypto purchases, link is in the description box below. First, let's take a look what is going on with Bitcoin market. Yesterday, Bitcoin dropped a bit and hit $6,600, but overnight when I woke up today, it was pleasantly to see that Bitcoin was back above $7,000. Overnight, it increased by 6%. Other leading altcoins such as Ethereum had even bigger gains. It's up 12% and reaching $170 a coin. Max Keiser stated in his interview that Bitcoin is one of the least volatile assets this year.
And what's funny is that for years people said, oh, Bitcoin's so volatile. How could it ever be a store of value? Where this year, Bitcoin is the least volatile asset class of any asset class there is. It's less volatile than stocks. It's certainly less volatile than oil. It's less volatile than many, many currencies out there. It's less volatile. So Bitcoin's coming into its own in 2020, and it is a store of value. It is gold 2.0.
Let's examine the facts. Let's take a quick look at the year-to-date chart. On January 1st, 2020, Bitcoin was trading around $7,000. In February, it went all the way up to $10,000. But then, when this pandemic officially hit the market in the United States, Bitcoin took a dive and dropped below $4,000. Then it quickly recovered to today's price of around $7,000 a coin. So, in conclusion, we can definitely say that Bitcoin was quite volatile this year, but it ends up flat on a year-to-date basis. If you look at the stock market, let's take my favorite index, S&P 500. It started 2020 at around $3,150. It also had some major drawdown, then slightly recovered to today's price at around $2,800. That's more than 11% down on a year-to-date basis. So Bitcoin definitely outperforming the stock market this year so far. But what if you look at the crude oil market? This year was a disaster for the crude oil. It started pretty well though. The price of the single barrel was at around $62. Ever since, the trend was going downwards. It looks like we established some sort of support level at around $20 a barrel. From $62 till $20, that's a 67% decline. Oil so far was the worst performing asset of this year. Stock market outperformed the oil, and of course Bitcoin outperformed stock market and oil market. What if we look at the precious metals? Let's take a look silver first. Silver started this year nearly $18 per ounce. Then it also dropped pretty widely as the rest of the market. It dropped all the way below $12 per ounce. Then it slightly recovered till today's price of about $15 per ounce. From 18 to 15, that's 16% decline on a year-to-date basis. Even stock market did better than silver. Of course, we cannot look at the precious metals without gold. Gold is definitely the best performing asset of this year. It started the year at around $1,530 per ounce. It also had its volatile moment, then it reached all the way till today's price of around $1,720. That's a 12% increase on a year-to-date basis, definitely outperforming other asset classes, including Bitcoin. But if we look at the longer terms, stock market and especially Bitcoin smoked precious metals. However, let's be fair here, we are talking about year-to-date basis. So gold would be first, Bitcoin would be second, stock market would be third, silver took fourth place, and of course, oil would be the last one. Let's take a look what Max Keiser has to say about Bitcoin and other altcoins.
Now, the next alternative hard money would be, aside from silver, of course, is great, but aside from that would be Bitcoin. And that's why you see some great interest in Bitcoin right now. The price is up this year. It's one of the very few markets in the world that's up in 2020, and it will achieve a market capitalization similar to gold in the many trillions of dollars. So you're talking about a $400,000 price is my target ultimately for Bitcoin, and it looks great.
How are you preparing for the halving? I picture you're going to throw like a mega party, of course, just in your house alone. But how are you preparing? Are you accumulating more ahead of the halving happening in May?
I have a full position in Bitcoin, as I have a full position in gold, and I have a full position in silver.
So you're all stocked up.
I have. My positions were built long ago at much cheaper prices. So the halving is a key element of the Bitcoin protocol, but it's only one of the incentives that make up the protocol. You know, the stack, the protocol, the Bitcoin's protocol has many layers, and the halving is one element to it. But there are many other pieces to the Bitcoin protocol that make it beautiful in terms of the incentives, the way they're beautifully balanced. You know, I call it the Sistine Chapel of money. There's never been money invented like Bitcoin that's so gorgeous, so beautiful. If you just study the design of it, you just study the white paper, it's like looking at a fine Da Vinci artwork or an incredible Swiss watch. It's awe-inspiring. The technology is awe-inspiring, Daniela. I suggest you take a few days off and maybe drop some acid and read the white paper over and over again until you finally understand it. Because clearly you're close to understanding it, but you have been transformed yet. You haven't crossed the Bitcoin horizon.
The acid thing might not help.
Well, I mean, I suggest you name your baby either Satoshi if it's a boy or Satoshina if it's a girl.
We were thinking COVID, but anyhow.
That's timely.
I had a former missionary of Bitcoin on last week, John McAfee, who I'm sure you know well, who was a huge proponent of Bitcoin and then broke up with Bitcoin. And I asked him, why? And he said, well, I like the altcoins and I just feel they're more secure and it's just far more technologically superior than Bitcoin. What would your response be?
Well, John came very late to Bitcoin. He came in, the price had already was in the thousands. He was very late, and he tried to make up for lost time by pushing altcoins, or what many people would rightfully call shitcoins. He's a bit of a circus clown who tries to push garbage onto people, and he's been committing. I mean, I worked on Wall Street for many years. When John McAfee did his Coin of the Day Club a few years ago, that's called security manipulation. That's called securities fraud. That's why the SEC was after him, as they were, and rightfully so. So he's not a credible guy. There's a few people that are not at all credible in this space. John McAfee is not to be given any credibility whatsoever. He's a complete jackass. Roger Ver started off good, but he's now a charlatan. Craig Wright is a lunatic. But for some reason, the press focuses on these guys. I think it's the same reason they like to cover, car accidents. They zoom in on the bloody bodies and they say, look at this bloody body on the street. How interesting. So for some reason, they give airtime to Roger and Craig and John McAfee, even though that they're certifiably insane delinquents who don't deserve any airtime. Let's take a look at, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision is 90% of the volume is wash sales. There's no price discovery at all. It's complete wash sales. It's complete garbage. Same thing with Bitcoin Cash, Roger Ver's coin. They're not even an active market. Bitcoin has 85, maybe 90% of all hash rate of all coins in total. Forget the fact that it's got 65% of the market cap. It's got like 85% of the hash power. And it's same thing in any market, Daniela, as you well know. people who know on one hand that they should be buying something like an Amazon because it's an obviously well set market leader somehow get talked into buying the next Amazon, which is some crazy penny stock from nowhere run by a couple of guys in a lab wearing white coats that has no coverage on Wall Street, but somehow they're the next Bitcoin.
Max said that Bitcoin is the least volatile asset. According to our quick analysis, I would not conclude that. Bitcoin is definitely one of the best performing assets of this year. But being top performing asset does not mean this is the least volatile one. He also said that his Bitcoin price target is $400,000 a coin. Well, let's see how he came up with that number. Current price of the Bitcoin is around $7,000. If Bitcoin would reach $400,000, that would be 57x return on your investment. Also, current market cap of Bitcoin is close to 129 billion bucks. 57 multiplied by 129, that would be $7.4 trillion of market capitalization. I believe what Max is trying to do here is to compare Bitcoin market cap growth potential to gold's market cap. Current gold market cap is close to $9 trillion. If Bitcoin would reach $9 trillion, that would be close to $500,000 a coin. I know it's very hard to wrap our head around this number, but you should not think that if it cannot happen, it won't happen. In fact, considering the fact that we are probably going to have a new current monetary system, then our chances of Bitcoin increasing in value become bigger and bigger. What I think is going to happen soon, we are going to press a reset button and have a new monetary system. Let's take a look at very important chart. It goes all the way until 1450s, and it shows different world reserve currencies. But you may probably think, yeah, who cares, this time is different. As Mark Twain once said, the history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. And I truly stand behind this statement. Every time there is something new, but it rhymes. Right now, we're still in US dollar as a world reserve currency. Before that, we had British pound, then France currency, and so on. On average, fiat currency dominates the world as a reserve currency for about 80 to 110 years. Spanish currency was in power for the longest, for 110 years. But now, it's been almost 100 years since US dollar became world reserve currency. And I believe at this current pandemic, we will hit a reset button, a complete economic restructure, and new monetary system. Have you noticed if there is some major event happened around the world, government use those events as an advantage to take more control over humanity? In 9/11, we already lost big part of our privacy, because government declared endless non-existent war on terror, which is a joke in the first place. Now our privacy will be further diminished with this new digital money. Chinese central bank is already about to run simulation on digital currency use. And of course, United States does not want to be left behind, so they will have to create their own digital dollar. They are doing this just to simply take control over people. If you protest, they can simply throw you out of the financial system. I do not know what is the next world reserve currency is going to be, but I'm pretty sure it will be something digital. Something similar to cryptocurrency, but centralized. I believe as soon as more and more people start to understand what is going on, and more money inflow will go into Bitcoin. So let me know, what do you guys think about Bitcoin and this new theory? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, hit that like button and subscribe.